What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Once Human's newest Visional Wheel season, Gravity Abyss. Now that players have had some time to jump into the new season, collect rewards, fight the Riftwalker, and farm gravity crystals, and also test out the new mechanics, I wanted to sit down with you guys and give my thoughts on what I think the season does really well and where I think some of the struggles are, and also what the community has to be saying so far. We're also going to be talking about the season hotfixes, like the one I did on May 30th and June 1st, discuss some of the biggest complaints surrounding Abyssal Cores and gravity crystal farming, and of course, I wanted to see like what you guys have to say like down in the comment section, because with everything that's going on with this new season, there's definitely a lot of like mixed reviews and definitely a lot of like division within the community. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section and let's get into it. So let's get into what Gravity Abyss actually is. For those who haven't been following the update, Gravity Abyss is the newest Visional Wheel season following the previous. The entire theme revolves around a massive creature known as the Riftwalker. It looks like a giant mutated whale that's been through some shit. According to the lore, the enormous abyssal being is tearing apart the laws of gravity throughout Nalcott, causing strange anomalies across the world. Entire regions are becoming weightless, objects are floating into the sky, and gravity itself is becoming unstable. For the veteran Once Human players, you guys are already probably familiar with this, so you already know what's going on. Players are being thrown into a competition over resources and rewards connected to the Riftwalker. And from a visual perspective, I don't think it's bad. I think this new season is looking pretty interesting. There's definitely some shit going on, some problems, but they're bound to fix it. Hopefully, maybe we'll see what's up. I feel like even if you don't care about the lore, it's not too bad. This is not too bad. Like, you have to give their props where props is due, you know. Moving on, we have the new activities and features introduced by Gravity Abyss. The first major activity is Gravity Imbalance Zones. These are special areas affected by the season where players can earn rewards such as gravity crystals, mods, and other resources. We also have the Rift Relics. These relics appear throughout the world and become highly contested objectives. See, the thing about the relics, though, is that when you go to get them, it's very competitive because I think only a certain amount of, I want to say about like 20 players can get them, and they're also on a time limit. Once that time limit is up, they just automatically disappear. And when players approach them, elite enemies spawn and the relic begins ascending into the sky. Players must defeat the enemies before the relic disappears. These relics can reward players with mods, morph deviations, and highly sought out abyssal cores. We also have the new aerial hunt. This is essentially like the centerpiece of the new season. The Riftwalker appears above settlements and players can travel to floating combat platforms to battle against it. This event requires multiple players working together and offers some of the better rewards during the season. Another addition is the gravity integrity system. Players can obtain the formula and continue climbing for increasingly valuable rewards. And then we have floating base constructions. See, now when it comes to the floating base constructions, I mean, I'm kind of glad that they brought that back, because if we're being honest, there was definitely like people were already kind of like doing floating bases even before this came out. It's just the way you had to do it definitely took way too long. Not gonna lie, that it just took way too long. It was definitely a process. Now we need to talk about the Abyssal Cores. Definitely one of the most controversial topics of this season so far, and honestly, I don't blame them. I really don't. Dev team, I'm not gonna lie. I really rock with y'all. I fuck with y'all. But how y'all have been doing us with these Abyssal Cores, bro, is straight egregious work. Insane. I'm not even gonna hold you. Y'all was dead ass wrong. Um, Players can obtain epic, legendary, and mythic versions of the Abyssal Core. Inside them, you could potentially receive rare deviations, valuable mods, abyssal essence, and various high rewards. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. I thought it was, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was gonna be fine. I'm sitting here grinding out the gravity crystals and everything was working out until it came to what was inside of them. Yeah, they have all this good stuff. They have all this like different rewards and whatnot, but they also have it to where when you open them, you have a chance of obtaining more quote unquote gravity crystals. Um, yeah. So there's the shallow and there's the deep. The deep is more expensive than the shallow. For the legendary, the shallow is like 1,800. For the mythic, the cost is I think 2,700. I had the legendary. I spent 1,800. Chat. I got 200 gravity crystals back after spending 1,800. Dog.
Fucking serious?
I, the scam. The scam. Once human. Why? First off, respectfully, y'all. That shit was kind of crazy. Still kind of blown about that. Not gonna lie. Yeah. So we got to work on that. There's definitely. I'm hoping like the next like update, hot fix, patch, whatever you want to call it. I really hope y'all work on that. I know recently that you guys have updated the limit on how many gravity crystals you guys can have and whatnot. Amazing, cool. Like, I'm glad. But y'all were so wrong with these abyssal cores and like the pull rate. It's just, I don't know, man. I just can't get down with them. I just can't. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all been doing the community crazy. And that leads us directly to the gravity crystals. Gravity crystals are the backbones of the entire season. Almost everything revolves around collecting and spinning them. The problem is that many players feel like they're constantly losing crystals faster than they earn them. You spend crystals opening cores, you spend crystals on seasonal activities, and you spend crystals interacting with multiple systems. Not only that, I'm pretty sure the crystals only last like 7 days. I mean, I guess who would be having that many crystals and holding on to them for that long? I don't know. The fact that they have an expiration date is just kind of weird to me. Then, when rewards don't meet expectations, players begin questioning whether the investment was worth it in the first place. That's where a lot of frustration is currently coming from. It's not necessarily that players hate the content, it's just that, the rewards and what you spend on the gravity crystals is, I don't know, like once you just added another currency once again. Now let's talk about the new Gravity Abyss deviations. The season introduced new variants, including Gravity Abyss versions of its deviations. On paper, it looks phenomenal. They have like these cool looking, I don't know, like graphics to them. And don't get me wrong, I thought it was gonna be cool. I thought it was gonna be fire. Not a single one of the deviants are fusible. Not one. And I get it. It's like the same thing with the lunar deviations that we had. But at some point in time, can we just at least get maybe one or two that are fusible without having to switch scenarios, apparently? Because I was reading a Reddit post, and like I said, apparently they are fusible. You just have to do this whole extra process that, honestly, if it is true, I'm not trying to do that, because that requires you basically restarting, or if you already have said character in that scenario, then that's cool. But at the same time, that's still more work that you got to put in. And don't get me wrong, I love grinding, but that's just extra. That is just so extra. And honestly, many players assumed they would function similar to the previous seasonal deviations. Instead, some players discovered additional requirements, workarounds, or scenario related limitations that were immediately obvious. No one's finna do that, honestly. If you did, shout out to you. Mad respect. This has created confusion and frustration among players trying to optimize their collections. So personally, Once Human dev team, love y'all, but yeah, we gotta like, I don't know, man. This is another thing that I think we should also have like some workarounds on, respectfully. All right, now let's discuss recent hot fixes. I know they've been popping out left and right. There was one May 30th, very recent June 1st, and there's probably some more before that. Especially with everything going on, there's definitely going to be some more, probably a lot more. One major fix an issue where gravity crystals obtained limits were not resetting correctly. Considering how important gravity crystals are to seasonal progression, this was definitely a necessary fix. Another issue involved certain drops not functioning correctly when Visional Wheel settings were enabled on custom servers. Now, for the custom servers, anyone doing this on a custom server, like, let me know how that's going. Because honestly, like, I'm really curious on like how this would work out on a custom server, especially with everything going on. So like, yeah, if you're watching this and you got a custom server, yeah, definitely like drop some details in the comment section for sure. That while these fixes aren't necessarily headlining grabbers, like, you know what I'm saying, like not big, I'm just glad they're doing something with it. Honestly, like I really am just glad that they're doing something with it. So at least we can say like, yeah, if there's something wrong now, at least we know that there's a possibility of it getting fixed later on in the future. All right, that's all I got for this video. Like I said, if you have any new information for me or just like want to voice your opinion, let me know down in the comment section, because like I said, like with everything going on, the community's definitely been divided. Some people like things more than others, and I understand that. But yeah, if you made it this far, much appreciated, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.